Hi Doris, welcome to private reading. I'm weirdly doing a messy shuffle. So all the cards are like this. And I'm kind of choosing your cards in a really strange way. This is not what I always do. But I'm open to spiritual offers when it comes to how to construct a reading. That one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Those are the cards for now. Now, why did you jump? Ho 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 ho. Okay. Let's try and push this pile back together. Interesting. Who knows what's going to happen, Doris, in a private reading. Normally I just do a bit of a shuffle and a bit of a... But no, we were called upon... We were called upon for the big jobs. Spiritual big job shuffle. Wow. Now that one's in the upright. So you are Cancer Sun, Cancer Moon, Venus in Cancer, loads of other planets in Cancer. They call it a stellium, don't they, among other things. Okay, let's put these over here. What's the story, Morning Glory? Okay. Putting you here. Wow. Okay, you were, whatever, attracted to a man 11 years older who's a Virgo with a moon in Taurus and Scorpio rising. You met 2 summers ago. And ended up saying goodbye. There was some difficult communication in between. And you're not sure that he's been open about a possible relationship with another woman. So, it took you about a year. You are a Cancerian. Us water signs do take our time. I think in some of the readings I've done for Cancerians, we've called it turning the ferry, haven't we? Because it takes so long to make the turn. But you managed over that year to turn the ferry. And then Venus retrograde, got my hot water bottle. Good old Venus retrograde, which is very strong, actually, I think. It's very, very strong in terms of I don't know if it's just because I'm not, completely an astrologer. I don't know if it's just very strong for water signs, but I found it amazingly resonant in terms of a love retrograde. So now you've met up with him again during a Venus retrograde, which of course is probably no coincidence in itself. But it's those strong sort of retrograde-y pulls that we get. And this has pulled you back into becoming kind of entrenched in it again, I suppose. Yes. Oh, I'm just looking at your cards. It's a bit of a story, isn't it? Cancerians had a partial new moon solar eclipse in their sign on the 13th of July this year. And then in 2019, Cancerians have, and let me find them because I wrote them down, because I've done tons of readings of Cancerians. 6th of January 2019, there's a partial solar eclipse in Capricorn. Now that's in your opposite sign, and it kicks off a kind of a year, just over a year of eclipses between you and your opposite sign of Capricorn. 21st of January 19, there's a total lunar eclipse in Leo, which for me addresses a lot of the issues from 2018, so that's important. 2nd of July 2019, total solar eclipse in Cancer. That's you, that's your sign, that's a very important date. 16th of July, partial lunar eclipse in Capricorn. 26th of December, a solar eclipse in Capricorn. It's tricky because the answers that you want is that this can be resolved quickly, but I get the impression, especially with the Venus retrograde, that then runs immediately into Mercury retrograde. So we go from, I think it's the 5th of October to the 16th of November is the Venus retrograde, and then the Mercury retrograde from the 17th of November to about the sort of 10th or 12th of December. We've got the Mercury retrograde, and it just to me feels like they're almost informing each other. A Mercury retrograde usually brings up more things from the past. It's almost impossible not to. So I would treat 2018 as a training ground for what's going to happen between you with this relationship. It may not be the conclusion though, and I know when you've spent time getting over somebody, as you have, that it's frustrating to then reopen the wound and kind of meet up with them and for it to come back. And I know that in your cerebral moments, you know, because as water signs, we don't put a lot of store by thinking, because it doesn't really work that well for us, I don't think. Rationally, you know it doesn't work with this person, the 8 of Pentacles in reverse. This is Sun in Virgo, and he's a Virgo. That's the card of things working on a very practical level. And there's something about this that isn't practical. Maybe he said that, maybe you've acknowledged it, but there's something about this that's not very successful in the workaday, everyday universe, in the Pentacles environment. And I think you've had lots of lucid moments of thinking to yourself, well, this just doesn't work. This isn't going to work. I need to get this through me that this doesn't work. And then that, I think, actually breeds confusion. We've got the Ace of Swords in reverse. He's not helping you here. He's not giving you the answers. He's not, as my mum would say, he's not being straight with you. He's not playing with a straight bat. He's not being straight with you. And that's, I think if you're looking towards him to give you the answers or to clarify, it's not going to work because he's not going to do it. He enjoys, and I don't mean this in a mean way. Sorry, my contact lenses are going really weird on me. I don't mean this in a mean way, because I don't mean he enjoys it, that he utterly consciously enjoys it. But he does enjoy having some power over you by not telling you things. Venus in Aquarius, the 5 of Swords, for me is always, and this has come up, hasn't it, in the Cancer readings. I remember this card coming up, and I think it's come up 2 months in a row. It's somebody having power over you by keeping you at bay, by not confirming, by not clearing things up, by not giving you clarity, by not, you know, it's by, by not playing with a straight bat. I really can't put it much more than that. And it's frustrating because you feel like, or you may have felt like, and you probably know more now that he isn't, that, you know, in order to finish this puzzle, he's got the missing pieces. I'm not sure that he has. He has a lot of emotional control, and he is controlling this situation. In the middle of your reading, the Hermit, and the Hermit is Virgo. That's the, I was going to say international card for Virgo. That is the major arcana card for Virgo. And there he is. This man turns up. He's right in the middle of your reading. Right at the hub of your reading. And he's right next to the Five of Swords. And for some reason, and it's probably because when we, especially as water signs, when we don't have the answers to something, it sometimes turns a person into a prize. It turns them into a mystery and a prize. And what that sometimes does, or what we sometimes do as water sign women, is take that person and put them on a pedestal of discovery and if only they would tell me this, if only they would turn up and say that, if only, you know, it was different and they would open up to me emotionally, if only they would tell me the bloody truth, actually. And it's not that I get the total, I don't get the cards to tell me he's deliberately lying to you and that he's stringing you along. I don't get that. And I'd tell you if I did. But at the same time, he has a lot more emotional control than you do. And that's not to say it's better, because Cancerian and Piscean women, you know, we live in the world of love. We are very romantic people, and we are fueled by love, and we are water signs, and it's all about feelings. And he can compartmentalize really well. And that's quite a dangerous thing for you, because when you say that, now where's my notes? Here we are. My old school notes. When you say that there was difficult communication and not sure he's being open, yeah, there was. It shows, and there still is. He's still being difficult. But you need to be careful that that is not like a moving carrot, you know, that you're thinking or feeling the need to pursue. It brings out the need to pursue in all of us, that particular scenario. But it's just important that you can somehow curtail that. Because the more you pursue him, the less he will tell you anyway. But also, the thing to remember about Virgos is that is the Hermit. In a way, they're very suited to and quite like living alone. The Hermit is an ascetic. They like to put the sackcloth and ashes on and to deny themselves pleasures. I know, it's just something that they do. But at the same time, it's very much in their nature, and they can do that because they can compartmentalise. I don't think in my heart of hearts that he necessarily 100% needs somebody. And it's difficult when you're a water sign with so much to give and so much empathy and ability to love, to feel that you're not actually emotionally needed. Because when we feel, or someone demonstrates to us one way or another, that we're not emotionally needed, then we start to feel needy. And then people sort of hint that we're needy, but actually, I don't think it's the case. But I think if you don't feel needed yourself, you will always feel needy around him. And that's not very nice. And it's also not conducive to an equal and loving relationship with somebody. In some ways, with this Five of Swords, this is Apollo. The Eight of Swords, it puts you in a trap. You can see these are the Furies. The voices of need, insecurity, jealousy, all of those things. Keep this person trapped in these 8 swords. 8 is a movement card for tarot. It's asking you to move beyond your fears. Your fear is losing contact with him forever. I feel like he knows that. And he almost holds that over you. Now down here we've got the King of Swords. As you know from my daily readings, he's a bit of a celebrity for me, the King of Swords. I feel like the King of Swords represents... The King of Swords is someone who is firm but fair, but also does compartmentalise their feelings. It's quite a cold card. You can see it with the sort of grey and the barren landscape and the blue and the... It feels a bit stony. Feels a bit cold. Also, the King of Swords, if I'm honest, for me, no matter whether he's in the upright or whether he's not, he is somewhere on the scale of narcissism. Somewhere. Now, that can just be at the sort of really low end of it, where he's just quite self-interested and selfish, to full-blown narcissist, okay? Normally if it's full-blown narcissist, he's in the reverse. But he's still here. And that coolness will never go. He will never warm. It doesn't feel like he needs it. It doesn't feel like with the Hermit and the King of Swords and the Five of Swords, it doesn't feel like he will open up himself. Sometimes when we get the King of Swords in a reading, and this might be one of those times, it sometimes helps to just consider your relationship with males. So with your father, with your grandfather, with your previous boyfriends, because I feel like with the King of Swords, who's got his swords, and the Ace of Swords in reverse, and the Eight of Swords, and the Five of Swords, it just feels like you're going through the mental mill with this guy, that he's putting you through agonies that are familiar to you. Something about wanting to know, or people holding out on you, maybe a pattern in your life. And that's important, because up here I've got the Four of Swords in reverse. And the Four of Swords in the upright is feeling relaxed about things. This is feeling anxious, mentally anxious. So I've now got the Ace of Swords, the Four of Swords. Hang on, I got the Ace of Swords, the Three of Swords, the Four of Swords, the Five of Swords, the Eight of Swords. And I did a big girl shuffle before this. So I can guarantee that these cards were completely as well shuffled as they're ever going to be. So there's a need for the message to come to you about the 3, the Ace, the 3, the 4, the 5, the 8, and the King of Swords. I mean, that's a lot. Over here, the Three of Swords, this is the card of a third party. This is Agamemnon in the bath, Clytemnestra, his wife, and her lover, and they've plotted the murder. So it's triangulation. It is a third party card. It is in the reverse. I'm going to take a clarifier on it, but my guess is there was a woman at that time, but there may not be now. But I don't know if that makes any difference, because he won't clarify it. He won't clear it up for you. I'm just taking some clarifiers. Eight of Pentacles, which is the card of it not really working in the real world. I get the Chariot in reverse. Now the Chariot is the Cancerian card. Do you remember how we had the Hermit in the middle and that was the Virgo card? Chariot is your card. He's in the upright, you're in the reverse. It doesn't work for you in terms of being a lovely Cancerian woman. It doesn't make you happy. It doesn't fill your cup. It doesn't feather your nest. It doesn't make you shine and you're not able to relax, is what I'm getting. And a Cancerian woman actually, I think, or a water sign woman, truly, putting aside feminism and all of the rest of it, needs to feel adored. Not in a princessy way, but in a genuine way. You know, Cancerians and water sign women, when they feel adored, open up like a flower, and that's what you need to feel loved. And you won't feel loved by this person, you will feel lost. Over here I've got the Ace of Swords in reverse, which is the card of not telling you, not letting you know, not wanting to let you off the hook. King of Pentacles in reverse. And that for me is a Virgo card. It is an earth sign card. And again, he's coming up as kings and as gods. It feels like his mystery has given him this godlike status, which he enjoys. Over here, the Five of Swords, Venus and Aquarius, holding power. Two of Swords in the reverse. Two of Swords when it's in the upright, and now we've got the 2, the 3, the 4, the Ace, the whole shebang almost. Two of Swords when it's in the upright is a blindfolded card, and it means that you don't know how to resolve something or how to move forward. Something about this power balance will come clear to you, because when it goes into reverse, and probably this will still take until 6 months' time when these eclipses start running in your sign, that blindfold will come off and you will see the power imbalance here, or you will feel it more accurately. And here, for the Three of Swords in reverse, we get Justice. Justice is a karma card, and it's a major arcana. And again, she's holding the scales. The King of Swords is holding the scales. It feels like the eclipses will bring you some good karma, if I'm honest, which I like. We also have over here the Wheel of Fortune, and it's in the upright, which in itself, when it goes with Justice and they're both in the upright, is a very, very nice card for you. 2019 will not be a quiet love year for you anyway, interestingly. Not for any Cancerians, which I'm quite pleased about. I've got the Moon in the reverse, which is the card of when the Moon is in the upright, you are still under illusion. This man has kind of you know when they call it gaslighting, when somebody just answers a question with a question and won't give you an answer and ties you up in knots and puts you in a mental hall of mirrors. The scales are going to fall from your eyes with the eclipses, and that's as soon as January. Okay? I wouldn't push yourself too soon in 2018 to know how that's going to... Yeah, underneath it, the Empress, which is my Venus card. And there's a lot here about fertility, womanhood, moons, cycles, feminine knowledge, Venus. This is helping you actually. It just feels like a hindrance. The Venus going retrograde just gives you a final go over this so that you can uncover truths that actually he won't tell you, but the universe will. You've got the Hanged Man over here. Again, it's a Neptunian card, and it's a card of saying, stick with this for now. Stick with the not knowing. Stick with the, what's the word? Mystery of it for now, because it will be cleared up when you relax from the need to pursue it and the need to know and the need to have answers. And also over here, Death in reverse, the Scorpio card. Transformation is not happening for you yet. It will happen in 2019. And for that you get the Two of Cups, which is Venus in Cancer. I do get the impression there will be an opportunity for love for you in 2019, which is nice. Here I've got the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. This is the single happy woman card when it's in the upright. Certain cards for certain readers mean certain things. When I get the Nine of Pentacles in the reverse, it's a message to tell you you won't be single for as long as you think, which is nice. But I would plump for 2019 anyway, because you don't want to start things when there's retrogrades. But I don't think it's with him. I've got the Knight of Wands, which is a younger fire sign. Doesn't need to be too much younger if it's a knight. But at the same time, it's nice. It's a new energy coming towards you. And with that Wheel of Fortune, you won't be expecting it. Quite honestly, with Justice, you've kind of earned it. Ooh. I'm just doing some Chuck Spezzano love cards. Wow, those are amazing. Okay, this is very interesting. Chuck Spezzano, you get lust. He may talk to different women online. That's often what the lust card is. It's also a card for someone who can like porn and stuff, but I mean, hey, that counts for most of the population, so that's no big whoop. But yeah, it's a kind of I like women card. Also, we then get trap. Can you see how the key is outside here? Sometimes looking for that final piece of the puzzle with somebody is the key to becoming trapped. And then your last card, and I love this, you get letting go. This woman waves a man off over here in a boat. Off he goes, goodbye. There is a man waiting in the harbour very quietly. Yes, there is. Oh. Here and now. This is a sense of soft realism. It's a sense of acceptance of the mystery of things now and the not needing to know. You will. It will come to you. Not through him telling you, but through those eclipses and the karma of it. That one. That's interesting. Forgiveness. When forgiveness comes up, it's often more than just forgiving a person who's in the reading. It's often something to do with family, to do with self, to do with softening, to do with acceptance, and to do with some kind of sorrow. And if we've got the King of Swords, again, it's about patterns of people who've held out on you in the past. He's not the only one. And also, I feel it's forgiving yourself for wanting to know the answers, because who wouldn't want to know the answers? But the real power lies in relaxing into the question. So I hope that's given you some clarity. It's not a reading that gives you all the answers. It's a reading that tells you of the mysteries, but also 2019 looks great. Yes, there will be new love in your life. Yes, justice and the Wheel of Fortune will take care of business as well if you trust that it will. So do send me an email, okay? Let me know how it resonates. Namaste.